Hi everyone, good morning. This is Kirvin B. Ontalan from Bukidnon State University, and currently I'm fulfilling my requirements for the subject of FS-299, which is the graduate seminar. So this video will be submitted to Dr. Quinihan Lorente Correa of the College Dean of the Human Ecology at Central Mindanao University. So I'm not good in presentation, but I am very thankful if after this video you will write your comments and suggestions and questions that you're going to ask for this video. So for this topic, today I would like to present to you the outline of this topic. So our topic, the flow of our topic is the introduction, methodology, results and discussion, and of course the conclusion. So to start, of course, I'll present to you these two types of pictures. So the article or this research article is all about the soybeans and the soybean protein. So the title of this article is all about the effect of spray drying and freeze drying on the properties of soybean hydrolysates. This was published year 2020. So the author of this study is Wang et al. And the publisher is the Hindawi. So for introduction, so soybean protein hydrolysis. So when you say soybean protein hydrolysis, it is produced using the alkalis, have an antioxidant properties. So the EAEP method they use is a very effective and environmental friendly method for extraction of oil protein and protein, no, sa seeds or oil seeds. So of course we all know that the soybean is a seed. Then in this process, this process has four distinct fractions. So first fraction is all about the insoluble fraction. The second one is a liquid fraction, which is the steam, the free oil, and the cream. So on this study, it focused only on the liquid fraction or steam, because in this part, the steam part or the second fraction is the most, or it reached in protein hydrolysis, which is the subject of our topic or the subject of this study. Then, so macroencapsulation, the two types of the drying process, which is the microencapsulation. So this is maybe a potential or an option. So we have the spray drying and freeze drying. So why spray drying and freeze drying? So spray drying has of course a low cost process cost or a low processing cost compared with the freeze drying. So freeze drying of course has a gentle dehydration technology and an ideal process for product high value dry products. But take note on microencapsulations, we need a suitable carrier. So in this study, the suitable carriers that they use is the maltodextrin and the soy protein isolate. So we all know that there are a lot of carriers that may use in the spray drying, but these two types of carriers they use is they seen the effect that maltodextrin and soybean protein isolates has the effect to lessen the bitter taste of our soy protein, our soy hydrolysis, because during the hydrolysis of during the extraction or the hydrolysis, it will expose the protein structure or the hydrophobic structure of the protein. So when the hydrophobic protein structure will expose, there is a bitterness when it attach or when we attach our acceptor or accept the acceptors of the hydrolysates when we take the hydrolysis or protein hydrolysis. That's why there are some reasons that protein milk has an aftertaste of bitterness because of the hydrolysates. So the objective now of this topic is of course to evaluate the spray drying and freeze drying method using the soybean protein isolate and maltodextrin. So the objective of this topic is they were going to see if the spray drying and freeze drying has the effect, or using the carriers has an effect on the bitterness of the hydrolysates, the hygroscoticity, stability, and antioxidation, and other properties of soy protein hydrolysates. So, in materials and methods, so preparations of soy protein hydrolysates was prepared using the, meanwhile, the materials was bought from the reputable suppliers. So, each chemical has a food grade or in application into food, and analytical grade for certification and specifications. So all of the materials that they use is of course in reputable source, and of course there is a certification and specification. So in preparation of soy protein hydrolysis, they use the method of Zhang et al. So in a small brief, the hydrolysis of soybeans was performed using alkalis. With a pH level of 8.5 and the temperature of 55 degrees C for 3 hours. Then after incubation, the reaction was stopped using boiling water for 10 minutes and centrifugates in a refrigerated centrifugation at 8,000 grams, which is 8 kilograms for 20 minutes at 4 degrees C. So the supernatant is the soy protein hydrolysates. So in drying of the soy protein isolates and the maltodextrin, so these two carriers was used with a ratio So this is the ratio of the spray drying at the same time with the freeze drying. So encapsulated, this is the treatment. No? Same with the application to spray drying and same with the freeze drying. So this is the ratio of the soy protein isolate and the maltodextrin. So 1.2 and 1, then 0.8, then 1. This is the encapsulated ratio of the carrier of our protein, soy protein hydrolysates. So let's go to yield of spray drying. So the solution, so this is the method of the yield. So it was considered using the rotary evaporator. The solid content to 24% dry using a laboratory scale spray dryer. So equipped with a 0.7 millimeter nozzle atomizer, inlet temperature of 180 degrees C, outlet temperature of 80 to 90 degrees C. So, and feed rate of 15 ml per minute. The product was unencapsulated SPH is 1. The encapsulated SPH2 or SPHS2 was the 1.2 and 1 sample, and the SPH3 is the 3. S3 was the 0.8 and 1 sample. So that is the ratio. So the moisture content, we have also the moisture content. So it also spray drying was used with the Daza et al. Method. Then in moisture, of course, moisture activity, we assess it using the moisture analyzer. Then solubility. The solubility was measured using the method of dozen and take note. These are the uh, dependent variables. No? Solubility. So the solubility was measured using the method of Daza et al. So the sample of 0.5 grams was dispersed in 50 ml distilled water and stirred at 110 rpm for 30 minutes. Then followed by centrifugation of 5,000 grams for 5 minutes at 40 dC. The supernatant ml was added to porcelain dishes and dried to content weight in an oven at 105 degrees C. So solubility was expressed as the ratio of the weight of the supernatant to the weight of samples. So in hygroscopicity, the researcher used the measurement. We're then using the researcher used the method of Correa and al. So this is the hygroscopicity. Of course, another one is the bulk and top density. Then, of course, it assesses the flowability of the samples. Then this is take note, this is also the classification or the standards that they use to assess the flowability. So in flowability, they use the Hosmer ratio and the Karst compressibility index. So these two method or these two method will tell you how flowability is your sample. Of course, we use the scanning electron microscopy, which is we can see the structure later on. What is the effect of spray dry on the structure of the soy protein hydrolysates? And last, transition temperature. Of course, this will tell you the stability or storage stability of our product, of our samples. Then, of course, the researcher assessed the radical scavenging activity. So they assess also the absorbance or the antioxidant property of the soy protein hydrolysates. And last one is they assess also the sensory evaluation. So in sensory evaluation, they use a trained panelist or 10 trained panelists. And of course, they trained for 1 month. Then they use the standard quinine solution. And the statistical method or statistical analysis that they used is the mean standard deviation and the one-way ANOVA. And the software they use to analyze the statistical result is the SPSS. Now, so comparison of properties of different dry samples. So the result, as shown, comparison of properties of different dry samples. So protein solubility is a very important functional property, and it has a considerable influence on the functional properties such as emulsification, gelation, foaming properties. So as shown in T1 or table 1 sa solubility percentage, S1 and F1 with the soy protein hydrolysates, the change with encapsulation with S2, S3, F2, and F3 is very small. Although the solubility of the soy protein isolate is not good. The MD has excellent solubility. So when you say MD, it's a maltodextrin, has an excellent solubility. So, and the solubility of the sample in the increases with the increase of MD content. So according to Grabowski et al., on his study, it also found out that the solubility of the sweet potato powder increased with the amount of maltodextrin increase. Then, in terms of hygroscopicity, so this dependent variable, this material to absorb the moisture in environment. So this will be the measurement how how your sample is highly absorbent on the environment. So it affects the storage and stability of the powder food. So samples with less hygroscopicity are easier to handle and pack. So the lower the hygroscopicity, the easier to handle and pack. So according on this result, the standard, or according to Nurhadi et al., the hygroscopicity index of powder is acceptable if not more than 20 grams per 100 grams. So as shown in table, that S3 got the meet the criterion according from the Nurhadi et al. Reference. Then we also, the researcher also assess the moisture content. So in moisture content, of course, this is very important. The moisture content and water activity of the powder samples will affect the powder stability. So the storage properties and other technical properties after encapsulation, the moisture content of soy protein hydrolysates increase. So the study have shown that the higher the protein content, the higher the moisture in the final powder, because of course protein has a higher water holding capacity. So had a slightly increased moisture and content maltodextrin. So it has a less hygroscopicity due to its high molecular weight, and therefore the moisture content of the powder is lower. So this similar phenomenon was observed by Grabowski et al. The addition of maltodextrin reduced the moisture content of amylase hydrolase with potato powder. Then in terms of water activity, so in water activity, the greater the water activity, the more the free water, which has a negative effect on the shelf life of the product. So the water activity value of the individual and encapsulated hydrolysates are similar, and the water activity value of spray-dried sample range from 0.2 to 0.3. So, as you can see in the moisture content, so according to overall for powder products, or the expected range for the powder products, and also within recommended value to ensure the microbial stability is not more than 0.6. So as you can see in the result, all of the samples has met the criterion. So in glass transition temperature, this was indicate of the stability during the storage. So as shown in table 1, the spray dry has this sample had a higher T value than the FD or spray dry or the freeze dry sample. So which leads to better stability or to room temperature. So the T value increased after the spray, after the soy protein hydrolysate was encapsulated. So which is due to addition of maltodextrin as a carrier. So the T value of S2 and F2 were slightly lower, so than those S3 and F3 respectively, because the more the carrier material, the higher the T value. So however, after the soy protein hydrolysis encapsulated, the T value rose a little, which was due to increased water content. So strong storing at temperature below the T value can usually lead to longer storage time. So the molecular excitation increase when the temperature is above T, contributing to thermodynamics and chemical and structural transformation such as skeenness and crystallization. So in fluidity, the Hostner and the Carr's compressibility index. So this is the criterion of the flowability classifications. So in the result, the flowability of the freeze dry is better than the SD, or freeze dry is better than the spray dry. So the size of soy protein hydrolysates particles after freeze dry was larger. So when you say larger, the particle size smaller, the surface area per unit mass. So mas flow siya. So the smaller the chance of interaction between surface, the smaller the cohesion, and the better the flowability. So the best flowability was the F1, which is without the carriers. So after the soy protein hydrolysates is encapsulated, the Hosner and the Karl's comparison index value increased. This may be due to the increased moisture content of the sample. So after the encapsulations, according to Iqbal and Fitzpatrick, they found out that the increase in the moisture content of the powder results in an increase in the cohesion between the powder particles. So in the recovery rate or the yield of the soy spray drying, spray drying or recovery rate of the spray drying, so a recovery rate is greater than 50%. So the effect of SD or spray drying is better, which is closely related to the production cost and efficiency. So the SD recovery or spray dry recovery rate is important. So in figure 1 shows that after encapsulations, the recovery rate of the sample increased. So the soy protein isolate in the carrier preferentially migrates to the drop air interface and forms a higher protein content field on the surface of the particles. So in the SEM or the spectroelectron microscopy, S1, S2, S3 and had a spherical and smooth surface. So as you can see, the S1 compared to the F or S1 to S3 has a smooth and spherical structure. So it was also possible to observe the irregular, concave, and wrinkled particle on the surface. So the formation and concave or wrinkle is due to the rapid evaporation of the moisture. So during the spray dry process and the formation of the protective films on the surface of the material droplets. So favored, according to Favreau, Trinidad et al., observed that encapsulating casein hydrolysates with a mixture of maltodextrin and soy protein isolate also produce a similar morphology with the spray dry, as indicated by the white arrow in figure 1, which is this. Some particles have up pores as a particle product. So all of the particles has the word pores, pores, which indicates by the some particles have up pores specifically practiced without depression. So diffusion of the solvent occurs at a slower rate, and then the heat transfer of the interior of the droplets and the pressure inside of the droplet increase, causing expansion of the droplet. So as the shell of the surface film become thinner, so allowing faster diffusion, the pore permeable of the shell can cause the formation of pores and even rupture in the surface layer figure. So in analysis of free radicals, scavenging activity is a water-soluble free radical addition that can easily react with the antioxidants in aqueous system. So resulting in a decreased absorbance at 734 nm, as can be seen in the figure 2. This one, the free radical scavenging activity of S1 and F1 are similar, which 33.54% and 32.88% respectively, indicating that spray drying and freeze drying have similar effect on the antioxidant properties of soy protein hydrolysate. So the free radical scavenging activities of S2, S3, F2, and F3 were 28.35%, 27.39%, and 27.36 and 26.21 respectively. So indicating that the antioxidant of soy protein hydrolysates decrease after encapsulation, which may be because the carrier of soy protein isolate and maltodextrin were weak in oxidation resistance. But from figure, it can be seen that encapsulated of soy protein hydrolysates is less in a reduction of antioxidation. So including indicating that the soy protein isolate and maltodextrin mixture as a carrier has no obvious negative effect on the oxidation properties or antioxidant properties of soy protein hydrolysates. Then, in terms of sensory evaluation, so this is the result of sensory evaluation. So the bitterness intensity was evaluated sensorially. So as shown in table, the S1 and F3, which is, there's no or unencapsulated treatments, has the higher bitterness or highly detected bitterness than the S2, S3, F2, and F3 that has a encapsulated samples. So we can say that there is an high effect or there is a high reduction of the bitterness if we're going to apply a carrier during the or encapsulations during the spray drying and freeze drying. So in conclusion, the bitterness, so the main conclusion of this study is the bitterness of the enzymatic hydrolysis encapsulated with the soy protein isolate and maltodextrin was significantly reduced, and the bitterness value of the sample after the spray dry was minimal. So after soybean protein hydrolysates are encapsulated, so hygroscopicity was reduced. Then, in terms of stability, was increased, and the SD, which is spray dry, was better than the freeze dry. And the solubility and flowability and oxidation resistance decreased slightly after encapsulations, but the decrease was within the acceptable range for powdered products. So this work provides a theoretical basis for the properties of soy protein hydrolysates products with lower bitterness, better functionality, and antioxidant activity. So that could be all. Thank you. So that could be all. Thank you very much for listening and watching for this video. So I will let this phrase to end this lecture or to end this presentation. So the only true wisdom is in knowing you know nothing, according to Socrates. So thank you for watching for this video, and God bless.